What up, what up? All right, people. What's up, guys? Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever the fuck you are. Welcome to another live. Okay, we'll see who's on. Please let me know who's joining, name and location. Please let us all know where you're from and who you are. Right? I just got a message on Facebook. People are protesting COVID-19 restrictions. Okay, what's this? We're not gonna take it. Okay, nice. Okay, what's up, guys? Let us know, please. Tell us who you are, where you're from, where you're tuning in from, your name, location. Steven Ramirez. Frank, those new audios you put out there are a prayer answered. Oh, okay, awesome. There you go. You see, I mean, I'm happy that you like them, and guess what? Many more coming. Okay, many more coming, and this is exactly what we're going to talk about today, for the most part. Okay, now of course you can always ask questions about other topics. Okay, but I definitely want to cover the subliminals that I put out today. Okay, you're saying here that these audios are a prayer answer. Yeah, you see. Look, bro. Ali, good to see you, Frank. What's up, man? Michael, I see you. Guys, let us know where you're from and what your name is. Man, listen. The subconscious and the subconscious beliefs are like one of the most important ingredients to all of it. Okay. See, whenever you're trying something, you're not getting the results that you want. Most likely, you have subconscious blocks there. Okay. You most likely have subconscious blocks there, and the way to deal with them is to usually not deal with them, because most people never do that. Okay. So whatever most people do, they can't access the part of themselves that would allow them to do that. Okay. This is fairly well known in let's say circles of professional athletes. High performers in every field have coaches that help them to work with their subconscious in some way or another. All right. That's they call that mindset work or whatever. Therapists, shit like that. But it all boils down to reprogramming your subconscious mind. That's what it is about. And the same applies to magic as well. Okay. So yeah, the subliminals that I created are specifically for you guys, for everybody who wants to, awaken your magical abilities, and for everyone who wants to take them to the next level, because it all boils down to the same thing. See, magic can be practiced by anyone. All right. I know there's a lot of bullshit out there on the internet where people tell you only specific people can do it. You need to be of a specific bloodline. You need to be, I don't know. None of that is true. Anybody can, because you just need consciousness in order to work on the field of consciousness around us, which is magic, witchcraft. Now, what stops you from actually doing that? What stops you from evoking? What stops you from being able to be psychic and actually communicate with spirits? What stops you from reading the tarot and doing clear divinations are your subconscious beliefs, you see? So these recordings are what will fix that for you, okay? And that's why I made them available. Like I said, there are many more to come. Right now, there are 11 recordings, and they will do their job. Okay, a question here. Do you recommend we take one subliminal at a time when we get them? No. Look, the subconscious can take in around 70 million bits of information per second. The conscious mind can take in like between 4 to 7. Okay, it depends on the individual. Between 4 to 7 bits of information per second. This is the conscious mind. The subconscious, 70 million. All right. So even if you would listen to 5 subliminals all laid upon each other, okay, all at once, it would still reprogram your subconscious. Your subconscious can actually process that. Okay. So no, you don't have to do one at a time. You can listen to one at a time. It's fine. But look, the work is not done by your conscious mind, so it really doesn't matter. The work is done by your subconscious mind, and your subconscious is extremely powerful and resourceful. Okay, so you can do whatever you want there. Okay, somebody's asking, why are you charging for it? Can't you provide that for free? Nothing personal, just want to know. Okay, my friend. All right, I'm going to answer that question. See, and that question alone, no offense, but that question alone allows me to say a lot about you, believe it or not. Okay, and I can guess the balance of your bank account very, very easily. Okay, here's the thing, bro, or lady, or whatever. Look, money, I don't see like you, for sure. Okay, money, I don't see it like most people. Okay, and I make a lot of money, and not through the grail of the serpent. Okay, and I'm not saying this to brag to you or whatever. Okay, that's not the point. I'm not here to sell you making money, but that shows you that I know a lot about that subject and I've mastered it to a certain extent. Okay, now, of course, there are people that have more money than me, but my focus is not money. All right, but let me tell you this: money is an exchange. Okay, money is an exchange of energy. Money is the representation of something has been given, and you receive something back. Does that make sense? So whatever you want from the universe, the first thing that should pop into your mind is, what am I willing to give of myself to attain that? You see, this is the mindset you need to have in life in order to get something. All right. And it is people that want things for free that never get what they want. All right. I promise you, when you talk to somebody who's successful in any area of life and you offer them a service, they will want to pay you for it because they understand that there's a give and take always. That's a law in the universe, that what if you get something that you didn't exchange for, you can't use it anyways. All right. That's an alchemical law that you have to understand, and you have to apply, and then you have to use. All right. So the rule is always this: if you want something, always at the same time ask yourself, what am I willing or capable of giving of myself, from myself, that is worth it, that is worth that, or more. Okay, I go by the rule of always giving more than I receive. All right, and I strive to make it 100 times more valuable than what I take in return. Okay, so you're asking me why am I charging for it? Well, first of all, that's the law. Okay, there has to be an exchange. And number two, what I'm charging is a joke. It's almost nothing. Look, magic allows you to manifest pretty much anything that you want. All right, but you expect me to exchange that for free. The ability to make that happen. See, that tells me something about your mindset, and that's probably, and once again, no offense, don't take it personal. I'm just stating my observation here. This is probably the reason why you are struggling, you see, because you don't see the world correctly. It's all a mindset thing. Look, I give a lot of money to let's say homeless people, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. You should give money to those in need. But you could give a homeless person $1 million, all right? And I tell you, in 80% of the cases, 1 year later, the person is going to be in this very same situation again, because it's not the outside world. There's something in their mind that is not right. You see, that makes them not deal with the topic of money in the right way. You see? You understand? So the point is this: you have to start seeing the world correctly. The mindset is what makes it happen. Always, you see? So that is the reason why I charge for it. You see, besides that, my friend, the knowledge that you get for free on my channel, holy shit. The stuff that I put out for free is on a whole different level, you see. And what you will find is that those that that pay for it can actually start applying it. Those who never, who only want free stuff, they're not going to be able to make it happen, see, because something is off in their mind anyways, you see. So I don't worry about that. I'm not greedy. I don't care if people get the information that I share and don't exchange for it, because they're not going to be able to use it anyways, you see. But that's not me, that's the universe. That's an alchemical law that is always at play, you see. And those that exchange for it can receive, you see. If you don't exchange for something, you cannot make it your own. All right, it has nothing to do with the money per se. There's an energy exchange, and in our society, the energy is represented by money. That's it. You could also say energy units. You're exchanging energy units with me. You understand? All right. Perception says, that gives me an idea, Frank. I have a program to record. What if I stack them on each other and listen all at once? Yeah, or you open different tabs and listen to them all at once. You can definitely do that. Or you're probably going to play them on iTunes, right? Oh, well, that's not going to work. But yeah, you can definitely do that. What's up, David? Good to see you, Frank. Frank offers a lot of content. Yes, free content. Yes, money create commitment that will push you into getting it real. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Please let me know your names and where you're from, where you're joining from. Liz, are you on? Are you here? Post something if you're on. No, don't post. Don't post. Don't post. Yeah, don't post here. Oh, damn it. Okay. All right. You're on. Okay, let me delete that. Let me delete that comment here. Okay, delete your comment, listen. Okay. All right. And all right, that's fine. Perception from Florida. Awesome. Is that your artist name? Perception, by the way? Is that your artist name? New Jersey. Donald from New Jersey. What's up, bro? Can you listen to it while working and sleeping? Yes, while working is possible, unless you're using heavy machinery, then you shouldn't use it. Okay, because it might induce like a relaxed state. When you're sleeping, definitely. Absolutely. Yes, Frank, you know me. No, I know you, of course. I'm just wondering if Perception is your artist name, because you call yourself that. And we were messaging just a couple hours before. $40 one subliminal recording, or $40 all the subliminal recordings. $40 for one. I wouldn't be able to listen to multiple programs at once. I can only focus on one thing, and I'm not a multitasker. Well, all right, Dr. Manhattan, let me tell you what, you don't have to focus on anything. Subliminals are designed to enter your subconscious mind, and that happens without your conscious attention. You see, it's actually bad if you pay conscious attention to it, or not bad, but it's not serving the process of reprogramming your subconscious mind. It's actually ideal or better if you pay attention to something else. You see, when the conscious mind is distracted, meaning it's focused on something else, there's something opening there's something open, so the messages can come into the subconscious. You see, so it's actually better if you don't pay attention. You see, this is how subliminals work. You're not supposed to consciously listen to the subliminal messages. That's why when you listen to the messages, some of you will have already downloaded them. Some of you will in the future. Most of you will, I'm sure. It's the music is louder than the voice. All right, you can barely hear the voice, but your subconscious is going to pick it up. you see? And that's what we want to reach. I was thinking you meant podcasts. No, we're talking about subliminal recordings here. Dean is from India. It's interesting. Is it bad if all I work with is servitors? No. The question is, are you working with them right in the right way, correctly? But no, you're not. You can work with whatever you want, man. It's your practice. It's your magical practice. You know, you're free to do whatever you want. All right. People living in India find it really boring to read the Bhagavad Gita, but they respect that book anyways. I don't know why. Are you interested in religion of Hinduism? I'm very interested in Hinduism, but let me tell you what, that's not just people in India. I would guess, look, just because something is, look, look, I mean, there's something that happens in any culture. When something comes from the outside, the source of that special thing becomes idealized. People have an ideal view of the culture where something comes from. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say India has a very rich history, but the people living in India, for the most part, let's say mainstream, they're striving to become more like the West, more like Western countries, right? So most people will they will search books, information, and you know, the fashion and all the cultural things from the West, okay, because they want to become more like that. They want to be more industrialized. They want to become more wealthy and all of that stuff, okay? So they abandon their own culture, right? And that's totally fine, because that's what always happens, all right? So the majority will not be interested in the spiritual tradition of their own land, okay? And look, in the West, let's say in Europe, and I'm sure that similar things apply to the United States as well, people start practicing yoga or something like Tai Chi, and they start, you know, they get bits and pieces, and they start idealizing this other culture. You know, everything about the West is so bad, and you know, I want to be more spiritual. And then they travel to India and see, oh my God, okay, this country has a lot of problems itself, you know, or China. It's not every, look, it's never the majority that is spiritually advanced. Have you noticed? It's never, look, spiritual or magic, the occult, is inherently elitist. That's what it is, okay? Nowadays, today, it's more accessible. Pretty much anybody can access it through the internet and the information age and all that stuff, but still see how few people are actually capable of doing it. And that's because it takes a certain level of dedication to become a good magician, you see? So I'm not surprised that most people don't give a shit about the Bhagavad Gita. Just because somebody's from India doesn't mean they're spiritually evolved. They're just Indian, that's it, you see? Now, the tradition of yoga is from India, but that doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean anything about anyone from India, okay? And this is another thing. People don't judge the individual. You always have to judge the individual. You don't judge people by the country they're from, by their ethnicity or race or anything like that. You judge them by who they are, you see, because that's spiritual development, you see. It's never a group. It's always an individual, you see. So I'm not surprised at all, you know. And you know, the same with I don't know, like, let's say look, anything, let's say it's a type of voodoo, or I don't know, Santeria, Apollo. People have a tendency to always idealize the culture where they find something. They all of a sudden, oh, that's like the Holy Grail. It's not like that. It's always individuals, you see. And the majority is always fucked up. The majority is always unevolved. That's normal, okay? All right, next question. I'm getting the subliminals, definitely worth it. Money is not important. This is life-changing. Absolutely. Besides that, it's not even a lot. It's not even a lot of money. Come on, please. I'm drinking a coffee here at almost 7 a.m. Drinking a coffee, and that coffee cost me $3. Okay, so it's like, how much would that be? 14 cups of coffee. Okay, drink that in I don't know, a week. Some people drink that in a week. 2 cups of coffee a day. This is not even like Starbucks coffee. Starbucks coffee is like, much faster. All right. Thanks for the info, Andy from New York. Okay. When is your next newsletter coming out, big brother? In a couple hours. In a couple hours. But I'm probably going to let people know that that the subliminals are available. And then I'm going to keep sending you letters about the Casanova course. By the way, who got my my newsletter yesterday about the Casanova course and the secret that Casanova shared with me, the seduction secret? Who got that? Was that dope or what? That's quite enlightening, right? Quite some enlightening stuff. All right. Yeah. Okay. The entire course. The entire course is going to be packed with that shit. Much, much more. Dope as fuck. Awesome. Okay. Frank, how and where to start with the occult? Okay. Look, my friend, the occult is a self-exploration, but it is also an external study. Okay. So the inside and the outside need to be worked on at the same time. All right. So you should start with the most fundamental understanding about the spiritual universe. And the spiritual universe, or the understanding of the spiritual universe, will also give you understanding of the inner universe, because they're based on the same laws. Okay, as above, so below, and as within, so without. So you should study the Kabbalion and start meditating, a meditation practice and the Kabbalion. That's where you start. That's the very first step. What's your view on Egyptian necromancy? More so, do you know any reliable sources? Look, I believe there is no fully reliable source on authentic magical practices from ancient Egypt. Why? Look, before the Rosetta Stone, people had no fucking clue what the hieroglyphs mean or meant. There are still people who believe that the pyramids are massive graves. They're still telling people that these pyramids have been built by a bunch of slaves. Oh yeah, 10,000 people have built the pyramid. Like, what a joke. I mean, you can believe that if you don't know the massive, I mean, the incredible craftsmanship that it takes to build those pyramids, the incredible architectural skill that that nowadays would be impossible to do again. All right. So what I'm telling you is this: nowadays there are, like, almost everything that we will find about ancient Egypt is hardly edited. Sorry, is not reliable. Okay. Now, I have extensively worked through the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Okay, and I have decoded it for the modern 21st century. And it will be released when I believe the time is right. I've held back with that. But it will be the 21st century revelation of the Egyptian Book of the Dead. How did I do that? Well, I got the text of the ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead, and then I traveled there, and I actually learned from the Sem priests. Okay, the Sem priests, SEM priests, priesthood there, that taught me in spirit. You can actually do that if you are good at soul travel. You can learn from them. All right. Now, in these days, you have to understand that the priests, magicians, and what you would call, masters back then were at a completely different level compared to what it is today. There are very, very few people today that can do what was quite common in these ancient times. Speaking of the times of the Druids, which is way later than the ancient Egyptians are. Let's talk about the ancient Egyptians. What was common amongst those magicians? By the way, ancient Egypt was called the Greeks called the ancient Egyptians a country of magicians and sorcerers, because that's what it was. The magic back then was extremely, extremely advanced. And I'll tell you why. I know the secret exactly. Because, first of all, the atmosphere was less contaminated with EMF, electromagnetic radiation, which makes it easier to access the mental plane. Okay, what a lot of people call magic these days today is a joke. Okay, it's like I don't know, you can't even call that magic. It's like role play, real life World of Warcraft is what most people do. It's like a total joke. Okay, those ancient magicians were actually able to connect to the mental plane and connect that to the physical, and their sacrifices and rituals and whatever they would do in there. So their magic was much stronger. Now, I know how to do that as well, and that's my craft. I do it like them. But don't think that this is common. So my point is, I learned it from the priests directly. Okay, and the necromancy, it breaks down to connecting to the mental plane, and that gives you dominion or dominance over any spirit that you call. Okay, not just the spirits of the dead. All right. Now, however, the knowledge that you get from ancient Egyptian necromancy, mainly the knowledge about the afterlife, is not unique to ancient Egypt. Okay, you can find that in Tibet as well, ancient Tibetan teachings, and the yogic teachings as well. Yeah. Thanks for putting out the subliminal tapes. I will be getting one every week. It's a good decision, my friend. I hope they work for you. Frank, any tips on how to master anger 100% under control? Look, my friend, I don't know if I have it 100% under control. I don't claim to have 100% control over my anger, because I believe sometimes anger is justified. Now, have you ever thought about that there are certain things that just shouldn't happen? Let me give you an example. Let's say you have an agreement with somebody, and that somebody means something to you, and that agreement means something to you, and you invest a lot of energy into that agreement, and then you do everything to honor your word, and that other person fucks you over. Don't you think that anger is justified at that point? I think it is. I think sometimes anger is justified. It's just a matter of how you deal with it. You see? So I have mastered my anger in a way where I can use it to push me forward. I use it as intensity. See, when you meditate a lot, and when you do other practices, you access deeper levels of your mind. You see, levels that are below the thought. You can catch the thought as it is developing. So it's like a wave of energy. All right. And before the thought, that wave of energy is emotion. Okay. Energy in motion, emotion. Okay. Always think of emotions as energy in motion. Now, anger is just an intensity. It's just an intensity, you see? So anger used correctly is letting the intensity roll through you and allowing you to propel you forward. Okay, so that's how I would use anger. I don't think anger should be swallowed or kept within, because that's only going to destroy you from within. Okay, you should not have any resistance to that feeling. You should let it bubble up. You should feel the intensity, but don't do anything stupid. Okay, don't do something destructive. You see, you let me tell you something. The mastery of life, if anything, if there's, I mean, there are many secrets to life, but one of the secrets to life is to transform energy. You see, to transmute energy and substances, if you want to take it further. But let's start with energy, right? And energy and thoughts and emotions, which are all the same thing. But you should be able to take any energy that is given to you and transform it internally into something productive or constructive. This will make you unstoppable. This will make you unstoppable. It's not force. It's not strength per se. Or, I mean, there are different types of strengths, right? There's flexible strength. There's all of that stuff. But the strength that will not make you unstoppable is the bulldozer. That's just, any force can be matched or outmatched. You see, but what can't be matched is the ability to transmute. You see, anything that is given to you in terms of words, thoughts, anything that enters you is energy. Anything that enters your consciousness, see it as a package of energy. And that energy will have a response within you. You will start to resonate with it and you will respond. Now, if you can take what is given to you and transmute it in whatever it is that you want, then you have the secret to life and being unstoppable. You understand? So you're not stuck there. Does it make sense? So the energy is given to you, you feel it, and you can transmute it into something that propels you forward, that allows you to move forward into the direction of your purpose. That is how you should use anger. And if you can do that, you will be unstoppable. Okay. I forgot where I read about that, but now that I'm talking about, so there's many different sources, but one of the sources that spoke of that called it turning shit into sugar. Okay? That's how you should turn shit into sugar. Anything that's given to you, you transmute it into something that makes you stronger, and that is possible. And that's what I practice. So I don't hide my anger. But I don't let it make me destructive things, because see, if something makes you angry, usually you've received destructive energy. Does it make sense? All right. It's not going to make you angry if somebody tells you I love you. All right. It's not going to make you angry unless you're really fucked up. All right. And if it's or let's say I don't know, let's say it's a really creepy situation, maybe you get angry. Okay? Or somebody tells you that like a million times, and it's like, yeah, I fucking heard you the first time. But no, what I'm saying is, usually when you get angry, it's destructive energy that is thrown at you. Okay, you're trying to create something, and destructive energy comes, and that makes you angry. Now, don't try to prevent that energy, that anger from happening. But what you should prevent is becoming destructive based on that energy. Don't become destructive. Use that energy, use that intensity, and allow it to create for you. Use that energy to create more. Okay, out create the destruction. That's what you can call it. All right. Okay. All right. Cool. What's this? All right. I asked the same thing to an Indian friend of mine about the Bhagavad Gita, and she told me it is very long and boring, but she actually never read it. That's why I will follow your suggestion and can't wait to dig into it. Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something. There are a lot of misconceptions about different writings. You know, let me something like Tolstoy. Have you ever heard of Tolstoy? A Russian author, you know, or you know, Pride and Privilege. Yeah, is one thing that was written not by him, but or War and Peace by Tolstoy, for instance. Okay, War and Peace. It's a lot, but hey, nobody would like. I would guess if you would ask most people and told them that's a classic that is very deep and philosophical, they would be turned off. But I tell you what, if you actually read that thing, it's actually written very easily. Okay, it's a lot of pages, but the sentences are not like they're like fucking eating you alive. It's really a smooth reading. It really pulls you in, and it's actually fun to read that. Okay, so a lot of people have the misconception that these old classics are really boring and then hard to read and to understand. Now that's true in some cases, but a lot of them are actually very easy to read. You see. Besides that, who reads anyways? I mean, most people don't read anyways, do they? There are a lot of statistics that tell you that most people don't read, you know, which is their own choice. I read a lot, and I can tell you that most of what people say is hard and boring, like you said. They either never read it or I don't know, something else is off there. You see, but usually that's not true. But that's fine. That's fine. Everybody does whatever they want. You can't force people to accept values, you know. But I found a lot of value in those books. A lot of value. You see, a lot of value. When will your next podcast, Bodhisattvas, be? It will be this Sunday. This Sunday on is that the 6th? Should be, yeah, the 6th. And it will be about Franz Barden. Last week we had inconveniences, so we couldn't do it. But this week it should happen. Ali Al-Kakim has a good question. Yeah, I answered that. Where do we get your recordings? Oh, yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, I'm going to put the link here. You get it on the Grail of the Serpent.com/subliminals. And I just posted the link. I just posted the link in the chat. Yeah, and it's working. Good. That's where you get the recordings, the subliminals. What was your approach when you started practicing magic in your early days, and what is your advice to the people who barely started practicing magic? It's this. Well, I had good teachers, so I guess I'm lucky in that sense. But what I'm saying is, you still get overwhelmed. Specifically, look, when I was starting, there was like I had access to a lot of magical writings. This was before the internet. Okay, this is before the internet. Before, I mean, the internet existed, but there was not information on the occult on the internet. All right, so this is like 1999, 2000, stuff like that. All right, so a good 20 years. The world was nothing like now. Okay, like a lot of you will know. A lot of you are my age or even older. You know, a lot of kids don't know that anymore. But what I'm saying is, I had access to a lot of magical writings. I couldn't afford them anyways, but I had access to that through the libraries of older teachers. Okay, so I could study at their places, at their homes. Sometimes I could borrow. And if you went to an occult bookstore or something like that, and if they even let me stay in there because I was like 15, 14, 15, 16 years old, you know, and these bookstores have I mean, usually they want you to be an adult to be in there, right? It's kind of like porn, some sort. Anyways, in most of those, you would get the Goetia, the Necronomicon, or the Way of the True Adept by Franz Barton. Okay, so you would get those three, and the grimoires, you would need a lot of background knowledge to be able to work them, anyways, and or in the first place. And for the Bardonian stuff, I mean, with that, you would just get so confused because Barton's work is phenomenal. Okay, it's really, really good. You can get very, very far with studying it, but it's going to take you decades. You're going to come back to it multiple times over the course of many years, and that he just gives you exercises without context. All right, exercises without context. The context will be understood after 10 years. Okay, so oh yeah, I had to do this exercise so that I don't freak out in the circle when I actually call up the demon and stuff like that, you know. And there's a lot of fundamentals that have to be attained before you can move on to the next step and stuff like that. So I teach different. I think that you can make it faster. That's why I teach in a very efficient manner. So I always have the person train multiple abilities at the same time. And I don't believe you have to wait that long. You can make it definitely happen faster. But the point is, I could have progressed much faster. I could have done much faster knowing this. Listen, knowing this, listen, okay? I've said it many times, but knowledge is hierarchical. Knowledge is hierarchical. 80-20. There's a pyramid of knowledge. Okay, do you see the pyramid? Give it 3 dimensions, all right? There's a pyramid. The top of the pyramid is senior to the rest of the pyramid. Example, the science of law. All right, science of law. We have, at the top of the pyramid, we have the Constitution. The Constitution has very, very few compared to the rest of the fields of law. Very, very few datums in it, right? A couple of datums that say you can't do this. This is, well, we're democracy. We have free and equal elections. Every vote is kind of like counts equally or shit like that, you know? Now, when you go lower, you will find things like agricultural law or business law, or I don't know, laws on how to build a house and shit like that. You know, what are the regulations and restrictions on building a house? You know, those are very, very specified things, and you will have a shitload of regulations and different laws. Many, 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 many. Okay. Now, let's assume you don't know anything about law. You don't know anything about law, and you start studying agricultural law, okay? And you know everything about agricultural law. Will you be able to jump over and win a case that is about business? No, you won't, because you have a very, very narrow and specific understanding about a very, very narrow and specific field of the economy, or whatever you want to call it, society. All right. Does that make sense? So how do you attain an overview over a lot of things and gain orientation? Well, you go to the top, because none of the laws that are in lower levels of the pyramid can contradict the top of the pyramid, you see. And the same applies to science. The same applies to everything, literally everything in the universe and in the spiritual dimensions. There are fundamental laws that cannot be broken and that permeate everything, every other field. You see, that's why and what I teach, my magic and my training of magicians is mainly based on the top of the pyramid, the things that you need to know. But when you know these things, and when you have mastered these abilities, you can go into any field, any path working, work with any spirit that you want, you see. And then if you want, you can go deeper. Yeah, you can do like a very, very specific path work. You can become this, you can become that, a druid, a fucking balero. You can do whatever the fuck you want. All right. You see? But most of the time people start with this very, very specific stuff. And they can't even get that to work, you see, because that cannot contradict the top. You see what I mean? But people don't understand the top. So they can't get the small things to work, or the detailed things, you see. So what I would tell myself, let's say I talk to my 15-year-old self. Here's what you do, Frank. Study these things. Study the most fundamental basics and understand those basics very, 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 very well. Make them second nature. And then you can go into any system, open up any grimoire, anything. You're going to make it work for you. You're going to kill it. And you're going to whoop the asses of wannabe adepts that have read and studied specific grimoires and systems for 30 years, 40 years, and are fucking losers and, you know, can't make shit happen even if their life depended on it, you see. So, and that's how I teach, and that's what what my system is based upon. Okay, it is the top of the pyramid, and that's it. And if the student learns that, he's gonna whoop the ass of like I said, all those wannabe adepts, the armchair occultists. Look at them. I want to talk about that shit, but you get what I'm saying. So that's the point. You need to understand the top of the pyramid, and then everything opens up to you. That's the key to mastery. So that was not my approach, because I was not taught but like that. But I believe that the next generation should always be better. And hey, is there any law that says that magic can't evolve, or that we can't practice better magic than the ancients? I think we should. All right. I mean, we have it easier than them, that's for sure. Everybody's always fascinated about the ancient times, you know. Well, I would love to live in the 18th century when this grimoire was written, right? And then have no indoor plumbing, you know, have to work 18 hours a day for like a bowl of food or something like that, you know. Like, that was not a cool life. It was nothing. Yes, I got it. Thank you, sir. Dope as fuck. Yeah, you're welcome, Gavin. I'm getting the new course as well. Yeah, the Casanova course is going to come out on the 11th. Where do we get your subliminals? So I posted that. Can I ask about the angel statue behind you? Who and why? This is Lucifer. This is my Lucifer statue. The energy of Lucifer is in there. So when I do an evocation with Lucifer or want to connect to him, I often use this statue. It's a psychic link to his energy. Thank you so much for the info. You're welcome. Do you ever reach other magicians' contribution to the same text as you like, Azazel, Companion, Lucifer? Do you ever read other magicians' contribution to the same text as you like, Azazel, Companion? To be honest, very few, very, very few. And to be honest, I don't have the time to study other magicians. I really don't. And look, I'm not saying that they don't have valuable stuff. I'm sure a lot of them have valuable stuff to teach. Okay, I'm sure a lot of them have a lot of insights. Okay, I'm not knocking that at all. All I'm saying is that um, don't study that. Okay, I don't. Sometimes if I have a conversation, yeah, if I have a conversation with other magicians, yeah, there might be some great exchange that happens. But honestly, I don't read other magician stuff, not that much. Okay. Now, let's say I want to learn from a magician because you know, recently, for instance, I had a very interesting experience with that. But um, I'm not knocking that, and it's probably, I don't know. Like all I'm telling you is what I do, and don't take it with any what's the word? I'm not knocking other people's stuff. Well, that's what I'm saying. But I like to learn from let's say ancient masters, and I evoke them, and that's when I learn from them, you know, and talk to them. And yeah, I have friends that are magicians, and you know, there's often a valuable exchange that goes on. I mean, off the top of my head, um, yeah, EA co-editing. We always have great conversations, and then so, you know, I always take something from those conversations. I always learn something, and it's always valuable. And Curtis Joseph, you know, it's been a friend of mine for many years. We've done a lot of work together on the other side. Not so much in printing. I think we were published alongside of each other in two books, I think. Yeah, I don't know, but we did a lot of work like magically together. So I consider him a good friend, and uh, definitely a powerful magician. Very, very knowledgeable. Other than that, man, I don't know. Guys that you wouldn't know, not so much. Yeah. Look, I'm just too busy with my own stuff, really. That's how I'd say I do it. And for my magic, see, at one point, you have to learn from the spirits directly, I believe. Okay, and I prefer to do that. But absolutely, I learned, or I exchanged a lot with other magicians too. Yeah, and like I said, I don't want to knock anybody's work. I'm sure if they're published alongside with me, they have valuable stuff to offer. Yeah. Where do we get your subliminal? Okay, Aviana, I posted that link in the chat. Just go down and look for the comment by the moderator. Okay, I'm going to take you through to the site where you can download that. Evening, Frank. Hope you're well. Just wanted to thank you for subliminals in advance. You're welcome. JS, if JS, right? Is EMF affects magic? Is 5G going to hinder us? Not necessarily. You can overcome any problem there. It's a matter of you accessing the states that are expanded enough in your consciousness. You see, that's really what it is about. Thank you, Frank. You're welcome. I've always been fascinated by the Egyptians. Cool. Aviana Blanca. Where did you get the subliminal tapes? Okay, well, this is for you, Aviana. I posted a link, and that's the last time I'm going to say it. I posted a link with that will take you to the page. Okay. So if I'm correct, there are subliminals work to make you believe in ourselves to the fullest, to have no doubt, make our magic unstoppable. Yes. Totally agree. Well said. Thank you. Turn that shit into sugar. I like that. Frank, how to deal with people who are talking bad about the occult? Because I meet these people often who also call me evil for my interest in the occult. Some are calling it Antichrist. Okay, so here's what I think. How to deal with that? Why would you explain yourself to them? I wouldn't explain myself to them. You don't have to put it in right in their faces. I mean, that's unnecessary. Why? You have to be socially aware when you communicate, of course, right? Like if you're like, I don't know. When you start a conversation, you're not going to be like telling everybody your private fucking business. You know, it's like, hey, how are you? My name's Frank. I'd like to have anal sex. That's not how you start a conversation. Yeah, it's you. I don't know, if somebody's interested and the conversation goes there, then you can reveal that to somebody. But why would you put it into people's faces? That's number one. Are you putting it in people's faces? Are you like forcing them to fucking confront that part of yourself, which makes a lot of people uncomfortable? Okay, fine. Let them be uncomfortable with it. Number two, let's take another example. Let's say somebody is a money-making machine, okay? Say that person is just so good at making money. They just, whatever they touch turns into gold. They just, I don't know, any idea they have makes them $1 million or something like that. They're just really, really good at making money. And some people will call him, I'm sure a lot of people would hate on him for that. They would call him greedy. They would call him a capitalist pig. Who do you think you are? You should give other people what you have and shit like that, right? Now, if you were that person, would you start explaining yourself to people? Doesn't make no sense. This is not rational. You see, it's not a rational fear. It's an irrational fear that they have, or an irrational problem. And you can't discuss with irrational people. You see, if you had a dog, like a really angry dog in front of you, that, if the leash was off, the dog would just go after you. Would you try to explain to that dog how wrong it is to be mad at you for right now because you didn't do anything to him? No, makes no sense. You see, stop trying to explain yourself to people who are not capable of understanding what you're telling them. Okay. Look, I myself focus on communicating better to my own subconscious and communicating with the people that I care about and the people that are on my communication lines. That's what I care about. Okay. Other people, I don't try to explain myself to the random normie that passes me by on the street that thinks the world is all 3D and they're flesh and meat and that's it. Why would I try to explain myself to them? We live in totally different universes. It's the same physical space. I live in a completely different universe than that person. And my universe is much cooler and much better. So who gives a shit about that person? Right? Let them live their own fucking reality tunnels. All right. So they call you the Antichrist. Yeah, whatever. That shouldn't bother you if you know that your morals or ethics are fine. You don't care about that. But at the same time, don't put it into other people's faces. It's unnecessary. Hi, Frank. Good to see you live. I'll get some of the Subliminals as well as the Casanova course. The Subliminals are $40. Yes, they're $40 a piece. You'll love them. Have you read the Quran, the Islamic book? Yes, I have. All right. What is the source of your knowledge and power, and what excited you? Hold on. What is the source of your knowledge and power, and what excited you about the occult in your early days? Why did you choose occult and magic, the occult and magic? Okay, look, shouldn't you ask? I mean, here's how I think. Here's how I think, man. Look, I get your question, but wouldn't it make more sense to ask something that you can actually benefit from? Like when I tell you what fascinated me about that, it says nothing about you, and I don't think it's going to give you anything. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So, I mean, shouldn't you worry about what makes you excited about it? All right. I mean, that's just thrown out. I'm gonna answer the question, but all I'm telling you is like maybe you should ask yourself how you can extract more information out of me instead of asking me what motivated me 20 years ago, because that is 20 years ago, and I don't know what that's going to do for you. Because if you're not excited about it already, you're not going to get excited by that story, right? So that's just food for thought. Okay, but I'm going to answer that question. Well, it's what fascinated me about it. That was nothing that I analyzed. I was fascinated about it because I was fascinated about it. And thinking back, to me, it's weird if people are not fascinated about it. And honestly, being honest with you, I think everybody is fascinated about it. Okay, even the people that are afraid of it, or sorry, even the people that say that it doesn't exist, when you start wearing a pentagram and talking about calling up demons, they're scared of you, right? They become scared. Not because of you, they get scared because of the possibility that that could actually exist, because that means they have to question their whole entire fucking worldview and universe and their self-concept. There's nothing scarier than having your entire existence questioned. All right. So for me, it's weird if people are not fascinated by that. Okay. Now, a lot of people are afraid of it, but that's a different story. What is the fascination? Now, there's one thing that we all want, everybody, every single soul in living in a human form here wants to expand, wants to become more. Okay. That's what's behind sex. That's what's behind romance. That's what's behind any endeavor that we really do. We want to expand ourselves. Magic allows you to break through all your limitations. Okay, even the limitations of physical mortality at one point. I'm not talking about preserving your physical body eternally. I'm talking about transcending a form that requires death and rebirth. You see, so first you start with your own little limitations. Okay, let's say, what could it be? The limitation is right now, the limitation that I see in front of me is, oh, that girl is attractive to me, but she doesn't give a shit. She's not even interested. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use magic to make her mine. Boom. Level 1, mastered. Level 2. I look at my bank account and I don't like the number that I see in there. I want the number to have 6 zeros, 7 zeros behind it. I use magic, boom. And I reach that number. Level 2, mastered. Next, I feel like there's no meaning to my life, really. There's no meaning to my life. I want a meaningful existence where I help a lot of people, where I'm respected, where I feel like I'm actually contributing something to the world. Okay. I use magic to create that. Boom, level 3 mastered. I start thinking about my own mortality. I feel like no matter what I do in this world is meaningless, because at one point I'm going to be gone. And not just me, everybody that I meet on a daily basis, one day will be gone. So that thought depresses me. It just bothers me so much that I can't enjoy life anymore. So I want the answers for what comes after death. No scientist can answer it. No book, no nothing. I could pay them $10 million. No philosopher can tell me. Now there are a bunch of these fuckers called priests or, you know, mullah or whatever, you know, and they claim to know, and all they want from me is my money and my belief. They can't show me. They want my belief in this book, belief. It's written here. It's written here. It's like, okay, who wrote it? Do you have any proof? They're like, you got to believe. You got to believe. That's the secret. But that's not enough. I want to know, man. I want to fucking know. I want to experience, have that fucking experience memory and be able to verify it. And I use magic to get that. Boom. Level 4 mastered. And then after that, there will be other challenges, okay? Because the universe will never stop to bring you challenges, all right? But magic can help you attain all of that, can make you attain all of that. This magic is the tool, is the key to unlock any door that you could see in front of you. It will unlock any ability that you might want to have, and it will give you any possession, any treasure. Magic is the key to that, you see? So if somebody's not fascinated by that, there's something messed up with them, man. It's like the people that say money is bad, or I don't want to be wealthy, I don't want to be rich, or something like that. People that say that shit, there's something wrong with them. You see, they're fucked up, they're messed up in that, because if you don't want that, you don't want to do well, and you don't want people around you to do well, because that's the consequence of it. Because if you do well, you can help others do well, right? So there's something wrong in those people's minds, that they're actually messed up, you see? So if somebody's not fascinated by that, I don't know what I can say here, you see? So where do thoughts come from? Thoughts are the result of life force flowing through you. The man with the plan. Once again, it's the man with the master plan. And they call him Sam. That's Sam Snead. You better recognize. Once again, it's the man with the master plan. They call him Sam, and I think you better recognize. This is 90s gangster rap. I think he was probably, I think he was on Death Row Records right around the time when Tupac was big. Yeah. Once again, it's the man with the master plan. They call him Sam, and I think you better recognize Sam Snead, Lady of Rage, and Snoop Dogg, and those guys. Could you please talk about the psychic seduction subliminal? Well, it's a subliminal that awakens that ability within you, and you will, I mean, it will work for you. I mean, the programming that you get will start seducing the people around you without your conscious attention, actually. Okay. So you will see the changes after some time, and you will see the conversations change and the behavior of I mean, if you get psychic seduction for men, you will see the behavior of the ladies around you change. And, you know, look, all of your behavior, or let's say more than 90% of it is determined by your subconscious programming anyways, okay? So The goal should always be to create subconscious, how should we call it? Subconscious, how should we call it? Subconscious fucking mastery. Okay, so it should be automatic. If you master an ability, it should be automatic. The way you talk, the way you fucking walk, the way you speak, your mind should seduce a woman, right? If you're a guy and that's your goal, okay. If that's not your goal, if you're let's say a gay guy, that your goal should be to get every dick hard by just talking, right? Or but just moving around. Now, if you're that good looking, that's unnecessary. Okay, right. But I assume that's not everybody. Okay. So if you're that good looking, you're probably getting your dick sucked right now, right? Some guy. What I'm saying is, if it becomes an unconscious competence, that's the word I was looking for. Unconscious competence. If a skill becomes an unconscious competence, your very everyday activity will have that as a result. You see what I mean? It's unconscious competence. Yeah. Can anybody access Lucifer's energy through your statue? Nope. Are you familiar with Espen Kane and his sorcery? I saw your Instagram post with Espen Kane, Wedding, J.S. Garrett, etc. I made an Instagram post with those guys. I don't know anything about that. Maybe I was mentioned in the post, maybe. Am I familiar with Espen Kane? Yes. Yeah. Why did you stop contributing to the 9 demonic gatekeepers after Lucifer's Rationality compendium? I didn't want to. I was actually asked multiple times, but it didn't fit in my schedule. But I still have ties with Become a Living God. There's something, I mean, the next project that is planned where I'm going to contribute is it's essentially about love, sex magic. That's what it is about, more or less, sex magic. Remy Martin and cigars. That's a cool name. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, Frank, you talk about December 21st, the age of Aquarius and this new shift? Not right now, to be honest, man. Demon Bune is the best ever. Do you experience alien abductions in the astral? Because I do. Nope. Not so much in these days, but the past. No, I don't experience that. Have I met aliens on the astral or out of body? Yeah, many times. But they don't abduct me because, look, they could... look, I believe that... or not believe, I know that no entity can capture you if you can quickly dissolve your awareness. What does that mean? Look, the key to safe travels on the astral, as well as to what's the word? To get out of any situation that might not be pleasant, is to be quickly able to dissolve yourself. You see, you have to attain a very, very expanded state of consciousness where you hit the mental plane, okay? And then you concentrate your attention in one location on the astral, all right? And then if somebody's trying to fuck with you, you either control it, dominate it, or you dissolve yourself again and then come back into, return into a different location or a different spot. That's how you can get out of anything, you see? So if any of these fuckers would try to do that, that's but I have friends that are aliens. I know that sounds like out there from so many people, and I rarely talk about that because it's look, that's the coolest, I mean, to me that's the coolest thing ever, but a lot of people will not be able to fucking put that into the right category because most people's minds are not there yet. And I'm not saying this because I'm so advanced, blah blah blah. That's not what I'm talking about. It's just that most people can't even communicate with themselves. You see, they can't even control their own mind. They don't even understand themselves. So how How would a communication with an alien work out for people? All right. People don't even understand their own dreams. People don't even understand their own motivations. And those people want to communicate with a fucking alien? But what are you going to talk about? Come on, seriously. Like, just saying, that makes no sense to me. All right. How about you learn to communicate with your mom or your dad? Right? Or your next door neighbor or something like that. Instead of going to an alien with a, I don't know, IQ of 400, 500, something like that. What are you going to ask them? What are you going to ask them? Hey, that's really interesting. You know what I asked them? Because I actually communicated with aliens, and I do that still, not every day, but I asked them what their gods are. I asked them for their religion, or if they have something like a religion, a concept like that. Now, I'm not going to share the answer with you, but not because it's you. I wouldn't share the answer with anybody else because it's not going to do anything for anybody else. But it did something for me. The answer that I got was really, really profound. But I mean, what will most people ask them? Like, how did you get here? What's the technology on your ship? You know, do you live in houses? Do you guys, I mean, do threesomes? Are alien girls pretty? Shit like that, right? But that's not going to do anything. I mean, it wouldn't do anything for me. And I'm sure it would imagine you're a being that can travel interstellar or intergalactically, you know, and you're a million years more advanced than humans. So I think that would bore you too. Would you be? I mean, never mind. In India, everybody wants to be educated and become a chartered accountant or an engineer or anything related to the education system, and not doing their own thing, and society supports that. Yeah, I heard a lot of good IT guys come from India, right? And math and science is very, very highly valued. Yeah, the corporate dream. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the corporate world, to be honest. Do you have your snake logo banners for sale or T-shirt? Not yet, but I'm probably going to create some merchandise in the future. Yeah, probably will. Would it be possible for students of your program to pay you for a consultation? No. I don't do consultations anymore unless you're in my order. I do consultations for people in the order, and those people are charged very little. And I do consultations outside of that for very, very high paying clients. All right. I'm talking 4-digit numbers per consultation. Okay. But that's also worth it because their life has changed through it and they see the value in it, obviously, and they can pay it. But no, I don't do consultations anymore. What's this? Trust the wealth. What's the difference with the magician subliminal and the witch subliminal? One's for males, one's for females. It will awaken similar abilities. It's not that men can necessarily do more magically than women. That's not the point. But it's for different genders, you see. Because witches, in my mind, are females. Yeah, magician. That sounds like a man to me. Right? Hi, Frank. Can your subconscious mind be wrong? i.e. your subconscious believes you have done a task correct, but you go back to find something is wrong? Or is the subconscious mind always accurate? The subconscious mind works perfectly and absolutely accurately based on the model that it has of the world. So it will perfectly fulfill its objective for your survival, best possible survival, and preservation of yourself. And it will try to combine that with the accomplishment of different goals. Okay. So if your model of the world is incorrect, if your model of the task being accomplished correctly is incorrect, it will do that perfectly in a perfectly wrong way, if that makes sense. Okay. But when you got the correct map, the correct belief, this is what we're talking about here. That's why it's so important that we have the correct beliefs. You see, we have the correct beliefs, or the beliefs conducive to what we want to accomplish, then the subconscious is your best friend, and it will make shit happen for you all the time, very, very easily and very, very well. Subconscious is incredibly powerful once you hone its power and once you make it your friend, you see. But most people's subconscious is working against them because it has wrong beliefs, or not beliefs that are not conducive to what you consciously want, you see. So that's the problem. All right, Black Midnight, yes, what's up? All right. Money is powerful. No, it's not. What's powerful about money? I don't think money is powerful at all. Money is a symbol for an exchange that has happened. That's it. That's all. You see. That's all. What's up, bro? What's up, Alex? Any advice for steps to take in meditation when spinning inside yourself and trying to astral project? Let go completely. How will the world change in the next 5 years, and what should we be prepared for? I will tell you if you had gotten a strategy session with me. Well, I mean, generally speaking, look, doesn't look good for most people at all. Doesn't look good for most people. All right. Since you read the Quran, 1400 years old book, what do you think this verse talking about? How could a person come with a book that talks about the Big Bang in a minute with no technology? Who told him? What? With no technology, they told him. All right. Oh, God. I'm not even going to answer that. Okay. I believe you, bro. You're talking about aliens is interesting as fuck. Okay. Let's show. Have not those disbelieved know that the heavens and the earth were joined together as one united piece, and we parted them, and we have made from water every living being? Will they not believe? Okay. All right, my friend. I understand that you maybe have been taught, okay, that's just an assumption. You may have been taught that this is the only creation myth that features water and life starting in water, and talking about something that could be interpreted as a Big Bang. My friend, Islam is a religion that is very, very, very young, and the same applies to the stuff that is written in there. Okay, you find creation myths like that almost verbatim thousands of years before that in Mesopotamia. Okay, so this is nothing special. I know a lot of religious people will use the miracles or the teachings or whatever, the revelations of the Quran to prove that that's incredible knowledge that they have. Look, bro, something like that. Just like Christianity, it's a knockoff. Okay, it's a knockoff. You know. Do you teach P? Do you teach your own people about magic like your siblings, mom and dad? No. Did you buy your Porsche? Yes. It's ordered. It's going to be here in February. You got to wait. They got a quota, and February it's going to be here. What are the differences between the magician and the witch subliminals? Well, one is for males and one is for females. I answered that. Okay. How can I join the strategy session you mentioned? It's over. It was offered for a very short amount of time. And I posted that in my group. It's not there anymore, but I predicted a couple of things in there in the strategy session. I told the people that was before the election. I think it was late August when I did that, or early September. I told them, among other things, I told them that there's something going to happen in October to Trump that's going to affect his chances of being reelected. All right. October 1st hits. What's the big news? President Trump contracted COVID. I also told them that Trump is not going to be reelected. All right. That's another thing. And then I told them many, many, many more things that are all going to be proven. Okay. Is there anybody here who got the strategy session with me, by the way? Anybody on this live stream who got the strategy session and can confirm what I just said? I always like to let people speak for me when it comes to that stuff, but it just sounds better if other people say it, I guess. Okay, yeah, anyways, I predicted that and many, many other things too. And I gave those people's specific stocks, and I'm continuing to sending them people, to sending them stocks, specific stocks to invest in that are going to be benefiting from the future developments and more, you know, was, yeah, it was pretty amazing. All right. Are you familiar with H.P. Lovecraft and the spirits? Like, yeah, I am. I can't wait for you to make your t-shirt, hoodies, and mugs and have them on the bottom of your YouTube. Trust me, I know they're, you gotta sell. I will definitely buy them. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that rather soon. Can we purchase the strategy session from your website? No, it was only advertised in my Facebook group, Girl of the Serpent in the Circle, and it was only for a short amount of time. It's not available anymore. Does mastering the reality tunnel of society, corporate success, education, etc., add legitimacy to my own reality tunnel? Add legitimacy to my own reality tunnel. Well, Gabriel, in order to master the reality tunnel of society, you have to be outside of the reality tunnel of society. Let me tell you something. If you live in the reality tunnel of society, you're going to be an employee. Okay. Anybody that you know who is successful, let's say an entrepreneur, some people like, you know, mainstream people like Elon Musk, do you think they live in the mainstream reality tunnel? Are you kidding me? Oh yeah, I just had an idea. Let's build 3 simultaneously, $3 billion companies. Each of those companies simultaneously built, valued at more than $1 billion. Oh yeah, let's send. I mean, he just said that he's very confident that they're going to get the first person on Mars in 6 years, within 6 years. Like this guy, this guy does not live in the mainstream reality tunnel. That's for sure. Okay, that guy lives in his own reality tunnel. Steve Jobs, do you think he lived in a mainstream reality? So what I'm saying is, and those are the people that are killing it. Or let's talk about, I don't know, the monetary elites. They don't live in a mainstream reality tunnel. Any person in this world that is killing it in some way or another, that is crushing it in some way or another, lives outside of the box, outside of society's box. The fucking normies, the fucking, I don't know, the people that run into the office every day that you see in traffic every morning, those are the reality. That's the reality tunnel of the masses, and their reality tunnel serves all of those that are outside of it and know how to work the system. You see, so you don't want to master the mainstream reality tunnel. That's for the sheep. Don't you think it's funny how, let's say, like even people with high-paying jobs, man. I know a lot of people from let's say that I grew up with that became like I don't know, lawyers or something like that. You know, and look, the only business card, the only business card that matters is or let's put it like this: what matters is what at the end of the day, what at the end of the month. At the end of the month, has your net worth gotten higher or stayed the same or got down? Look, you got a couple of years on this planet. A couple of years in your prime where you can actually work. Okay, just wait till you're 50 years old. Okay, just wait till you're 50 years old and see how much energy you got left. How much less energy you're gonna have than now, or 60 or 70. You think you're gonna crush it in business at 60 or 70? Think you're gonna make your like millions or whatever? Like you could, but only if you had built something while you were younger. So what I'm saying is, look, every month your net worth should go up in some way or another, which means that you need to have something left over to invest or to save. All right. Now, most people, I would say 80% of the people or more, don't do that. All right. They don't know the Parkinson law, the third Parkinson law, which states that you will always spend more than you make, no matter how much you make. You could make $1 million a month, 2 million a month. The tendency will be to spend more than what you get. Okay. That's why I say people that make, I don't know, 6 figures, they will, at the end of the month, their balance will be 0. You see? So they essentially, and at the end of the year, it's going to be 0. So they spent an entire year of their lives and they have not built anything up, which is sad. You see, you don't want to be 40, 50 years old and have nothing to show for. Okay, fuck the corporate job, fuck going to the office or whatever, and then I don't know, having a title like that doesn't matter. What matters is what you build up for yourself and what you will have left. You know, so the mainstream reality tunnels for sheep that has been I mean, it serves a lot of people. It serves many industries that a lot of people are so stupid that they actually believe this fucking narrative, right? But that's fine, you know. Let them, you know, let them be sheep. Who gives a shit? So no, mainstream reality tunnel is not for me. I don't want to master that. That's for idiots, in my opinion. All right. Can you tell us which jobs or industries will be profitable in the next 5 years? Yeah, absolutely. Yes. What time is it in Germany right now? In Germany, it is 8:04 a.m. Do you believe that the stock will collapse anytime soon, or will it be still intact? You mean the stock market? Yeah, but what does it mean if something collapses? Like, what does it mean? We're gonna have hype. We're gonna have inflation. That's for sure. Hyperinflation. So when you have inflation, you don't want to be in stocks. Of course, you want to be in some commodity, some sort of a commodity. Forget ETFs too. You don't want to be in commodity ETFs because that's paper. That's a derivative. You don't want to deal with that. You want to be in hard assets to the extent that you can. All right. And if you have cash, that's good because then you can get those hard assets at a very low price. Right. So what was the question? And you know what does it mean to be intact? You know, there are always busts and booms. You know, that's the nature of our society, since or of our economic system, because we have credit, and the majority of the currency is credit. There will always be boom and bust cycles. There will be ups and downs. There will be recessions, and there will be peaks. Always, you know, booms and busts are the result of credit. All right, so it is. An economy that is based on credit will always have that. But that also allows for expansion and economic growth, you see, which is a good thing. You have to be contrarian. What does that mean? You always have to do what the masses don't do. You know, and if you are contrarian, you will usually do well, because it's the stock market is a zero-sum game. It is, you know. So you always want to be on the side of where the money flows, if that makes sense. Okay, you always got to position yourself where the money is going to go, but you have to be able to predict that ahead of time, which is not as hard to do as you think. Plus, if you know a little bit of astrology, you know how stocks relate to different industries and how astrology and planets and then the movement of planets relates to different stocks and industries. You can definitely predict a lot. All right. You once spoke about your own magical system. Any update on that, or is that something private? No, you're going to be updated on that, just not now. Where can I find more info on mainstream reality tunnels? Go out on the street and have a conversation with any random person about anything, or watch TV or something. I don't know. How can we achieve the right flow of our life when everything we want or work for will manifest for us? Where everything we want or work for will manifest for us. Well, I don't know. I don't think that state exists in this world or in this life, because this world is built up for you to learn. Okay, and learning is always connected to growth, and growth is always painful. So there is no state that you can attain where everything will just come to you. That's not look, that would violate the rules of this game. So the thing that comes closest to that is a specific mindset, which is you don't even worry about the objects necessary, about the material stuff. See, any game that you want to master, you have to be bigger than it. You understand? So people whose consciousness is trapped in material objects will never be able to master those material objects. That's same with people whose consciousness is trapped in money. You see, there are a lot of people who want to master money. You don't master money, man. You master a higher concept, something that is bigger than money, and you look at it from that perspective, and then you can fucking play it, and then you can use it. You see, anything that you want to control and dominate and have control over in your life, power over, you have to think bigger than it. You see, so people think a lot of people, when they think about money, they think about cars, they think about houses, they think about all these objects. That's not money, man. You see, I, by the way, gave you today, and in many other lectures, I gave you the mental model that will allow you to control money and to dominate that. You see what I mean? So what you're asking me for is something that does not exist, because this life and universe is set up to make you grow. So let me give you a better mental framework that you can operate with, which is this. You don't care about any objects. You don't even care about the materialization of things. You care about mastering yourself in all of its aspects. You are a process. Consider yourself a process. All right? And you want to master all aspects of yourself. And the mastery of the self brings the toys. The mastery of the self brings the money. The mastery of the self brings the women. The mastery of the self brings you all of those things that you might want to have. But it's not even the point. That's not even the point of the journey. Okay. Ask anyone who's really good with money. They will tell you money is not the point. It's not about the money. It's about the person who I become. Ask anyone who's good with women. They will tell you it's not about the women. I could care less about the women per se. Of course, I have feelings for them and I'm interested in people, but it's about who I become as an individual. You see, understand that it's always about be, do, and have. You have to assume an identity in order to have something, because the behavior is the result of an identity. So the first thing that you need to do is you have to assume a specific identity. You have to strive to become that person, and then everything is going to be the result of that. You understand? So see yourself as a process, and the goal of that process is to master all aspects of the self, and then sky's the limit, or not. Depends on you. All right. My God, you don't sleep at all. That's not true. I do sleep. I just have a different sleeping schedule than most people. I just don't want to let my family down because they invested a lot into me to achieve things that I don't care about. Okay, Gabriel, that's a little bit different for you. I believe your goal should be, oh no, I'm not even going to talk about that. That's just, I mean, you make your own decisions. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that. Do you believe Bitcoin blockchain is going to be the way to currency in the future forever? I believe, yeah, cryptocurrencies are going to be the future. You're going to see a big, what's one? Wait, I would say late 2021, 2022. There are going to be big campaigns, and very fast all currency is going to be replaced by crypto, but it's going to be government issued. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be based on blockchain, but not an anonymous blockchain. Okay, so Bitcoin is probably going to become illegal. Yeah, when answering questions, you get a rough idea of the specific mindset of the person asking the question, right? Yes, I do. Yeah, any question has to assume a lot of things, you see, and the assumptions basically show the edge of the person's universe, you know. So yeah. Thank you, Frank. You're welcome. Oh yeah. The physical body can be overtrained with too much exercise. Does this apply to your energy body as well, or is there no limit to how many spiritual exercises can be done? It's this look, it's gradual increase, gradual building up. Okay, so the physical body can get stronger, but only if you don't overtrain it. You always gotta hit a sweet spot where you're a little bit uncomfortable, but you don't make it too uncomfortable, because then you will break the body. What you want is you want to get it into a condition where it becomes uncomfortable, and then super compensation happens and it gets a little bit stronger, and you reach higher and higher and higher levels, step by step by step. It's a gradual increase. The same with the energy body and your spiritual exercises. I read an excerpt from a book where it states, become the spirit of the thing you desire. You know, it's partially true. It's partially true, but see, the problem is that with things like, let's say, with a lot of things, there is a confusion about what that thing actually is. You see, like money, for instance. Again, most people, like I said, they confuse money with the physical shadow of it. It's just, it's a physical, what's the word? It's not the real thing. There's something else behind that. There's an energy dynamic that's going on, you see. So you can't focus on the external. You have to understand what's behind that thing, you see. The same with most things. That's why mastering most objects in life requires a contrarian or a counterintuitive approach. It's usually never the intuitive thing that gets you the result, you see. polyphasic sleeping, Frank. It depends. It depends. In what way is the universe changing and shifting, and how will that affect magic and mankind? Oh, that's a big question, man. Why don't you allow everybody into your order, even that knowledge is so powerful, right? Why don't I allow everybody into my order? Are you serious? Why aren't you friends with everybody? Why don't you just have sex with just everybody? Would you do that? Would you have sex with just everybody? Let me see. So, I mean, I think you should be selective with everything. You know, you should be selective about your friends. You should be selective about your partners. You should be selective about people that you let into your order, your magical order. So, in your opinion, who are the best martial artists to learn from, dead or alive? Best martial artists. Musashi? Bruce Lee? Those are ones that come to me right now. Do you think pursuing a rap or acting career is too big of a risk? Pursuing a rap or acting career is too big of a risk? No. What's your view? You should actually contact me if your music is in some way or another, like, has a spiritual or a magical context in some way or another. You should actually contact me. Maybe we can work together on something. You know, I'm not going to talk about this the project yet, but I'm looking into that industry in some way or another. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Thank you, Frank. These streams are the best. You're welcome. Musashi is the man. I like what he done. Yes, Musashi was pretty tough. Do we have more questions here? Yeah. Thanks, man. I'm going to create a training schedule for my energy body like I do with the physical. That's a good idea, man. That's a good idea. Do that. I will. I just imagined what would you do as me, and I told my family to bug off. They'll forgive me later. Do you think I would tell my family to fuck off? Seriously? That's not how I talk to my parents. No, I have a lot of respect for my parents. I have to. I have to. Yeah. But it doesn't mean I'm gonna look. I'm still gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do. That's for sure. But I'm gonna let them know respectfully. I'm not gonna be like, "Shut up, Dad. Shut up, Mom." That's not. That's not how I deal with my parents. Hello, new to your channel. Well, welcome, Silver Raven Moletti. Sounds like a coffee at Starbucks. Silver. Hello, what can I get you? I would like a Silver Raven Moletti, please. Can I get a Silver Raven Moletti? Grande, yeah, exactly. There's like a Silver Raven Moletti. grande. Unlike a silver, raven, Maletti, grande, Pacino, Bellino, cappuccino for Pacino, Rolino, Tino. Make that grande, please. God. All right. That's interesting, Frank, for the music project. Thanks for having a look at what I sent. Yeah, I didn't actually look at it yet. I have seen it, but I'm going to do that when I get a minute to check that out. Are your subliminal audios in a course format or just individual audios? Thank you for the content you put up. They're just individual audios that you can download or listen. Yeah, you can download on from the website. Yeah. Do you feel the energy of the person's aura through their questions? If I wanted to, yeah. If I wanted to, but I mean, that does make sense to me. For what? Why would I do that? I can't give you a general answer on that. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'm interested and I stretch out my senses. Sometimes I'm not, you know. It really depends. It really depends. See, I think what a lot of people think is when you're psychic and you can actually read people and all that stuff, you spend your time looking into other people's minds all the time. You're like checking out what they're doing and you know, what are they thinking, you know. And to be honest, I don't. And I think most magicians don't do that either. And I'll tell you why. Because it's not that exciting, to be honest, you know. It's really not exciting because, well, first of all, everybody is obsessed with themselves, you know. Everybody is. Okay, let's be honest. I mean, everybody is. Like in your universe, in your mind, and you're kind of like the center of events, right? So everybody's just thinking about how certain things affect them for the most part. Okay. And we're social animals. So there's a lot of that stuff going on. All right. But that's far from exciting. So as a psychic, you don't just sit there and try to figure out what that person's thinking, this person's thinking, that person's, oh, what is she doing? What is he doing? So like that. That's boring as fuck. So you use that to advance your own life, as you should, I believe. You know? And that's how I use it. Are the subliminals included in any of your courses or another extra feature? They have nothing to do with courses. They have nothing to do with courses. They're a standalone product, okay? And you can download them, and it has nothing to do with other courses. It's like you pick a subliminal, you get it, and that's it. You don't pay monthly for access to that thing. Okay, you pay once, and that's it. What is the future for creative video and digital marketing and filmmaking? Because that's what I'm mostly interested in. And I'm curious to know what the future holds for it. Like, it's going to be very competitive. Very competitive. Look, I mean, you only have to look at the economic reset and the Agenda 2030. Okay, that's not conspiracy or anything. That's official agenda. Okay, Carl Schwab. I don't know if you heard of that guy, but he's kind of like in the forefront of that. So they're using kind of like the current days or current times that we're in to plan a post-corona world economy. Okay. So what's going to happen with most industries is they're going to be, okay, most industries are That's for sure. So there's going to be a lot of automation, and automation means digitalization, right? So most processes, a whole lot of processes, are going to be digitalized and automized, okay? Which means a lot of workers are going to be redundant. They're going to be unnecessary, completely unnecessary. Now, roughly speaking, I would say 30% of all jobs are going to be completely redundant within the next 10 years. It's going to be pretty bad, pretty bad. Okay, now, with all of that, of course, you have no new opportunities, but most people are not going to make use of those opportunities. Number one, how many of you have heard of the economic reset and the Agenda 2030 and how they're being implemented right now? I bet you 2, 3 people, maybe. Okay, agree. You know, Carl Schwab, did you know that name? Have you heard of that name before? Carl Schwab. No. So my point is, most people don't even know what's going on. They have no clue. All right. So most people, if you don't know what's going on, you obviously can't take advantage of the opportunities that are rising. Okay. So most people are going to have a very, very bad time, very hard time in the next years. And I think universal basic income is going to be a viable option for a lot of countries, but if you're dependent on the government for your money or for your income, that gives them a lot of control over your life, which is pretty bad. Because what's going to happen if you make a bad comment on YouTube? You know, well, they just don't pay you the credits. That makes sense, right? So it all boils down to economic freedom. So in the next 5 to 10 years, there's going to be a massive wealth transfer. Okay, so a few people are going to be massively rich, and a lot of people, the majority are going to be in trouble, economic trouble, and then a big brother is going to come in as a savior. You know, and put the digital leash on their necks. That's what's gonna happen. All right. So I'm in the financial services industry. Okay, good. Good. Look, I mean, it sounds bad, but like there are always opportunities. There are always opportunities. So if you're doing the right thing, you can definitely put yourself in a very, very good position in the next 5 to 10 years and start building something that can last for generations, for sure. Yeah, but you have to have the information. You're gonna have to have the means to do that, and I don't think most people are in that position. Not just because, look, you don't need money for that necessarily. You need the knowledge for that and the willingness and the right mindset. Bringing it back to the fucking point of this fucking stream. Most people don't have the right mindset for that. You see. What they feel is fear. I get excited. You know, I get excited about this stuff, and you should get excited because look, it's a zero-sum game. It's a zero-sum game. When a lot of shit goes wrong, there's also a place where you can be where all the good stuff is going to come to you. You see, I get excited when I hear things like that. When things like that happen, this is fucking, you know, once a century, if that. Okay, so you can look, if you have the right mindset, you're going to position yourself right. But most people have the wrong mindset. They're going to start talking about the fucking Illuminati. They're going to be like, oh, the conspiracy, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. That's where their mind goes. They go into the victim place. But that's something in their subconscious, you see, and they're going to get that. That's what they're going to manifest. You see, that's why it's so crucial. See, this proves my point again. You need the right mindset. If your mindset is right, if your subconscious beliefs are in the right place, you're going to crush it always, always, always. All right. So just proves my point. Get the fucking subliminals. Get the subliminals. That's what Tim Rifat always says, zero-sum game. I don't know who that is. Tim Rifat. What is that? How can you banish negative energy from a person if how, damn it, where's that question? How can you banish negative energy from a person if they're feeling depressed and feeling sad and emotional? There's so many different ways, man. The first thing you should do is get their energy to move. All right. Oftentimes, just the movement of energy is gonna fix it. Sometimes you can fix depression by just moving your ass. Okay. Just go for a fucking run. Right. I'm not like, maybe that sounds rude. I'm not trying to be rude here. I was speaking about an imaginary person. I didn't mean you. I didn't mean to be rude if that came across rude. What should our values and beliefs be like to be financially successful in the next 5 years? Well, first of all, you should understand money for what it is. Most people, when they want to, they think they can make money. You can't make money. Money is a symbol for an energy exchange. So what you need to do is you got to give something out in order to receive money back. Also, separate that from thinking that it's about the person that you're dealing with. You're dealing with energy always. Okay? So think about what you're exchanging with the universe rather than what you're exchanging with a person. Alchemical law. Let's say you want to make $1 million. What are you willing to exchange that is worth $1 million? And then exchange that with the world. Other people are just representations of the universe. They're energy. All right. You exchange energy, you exchange something with the universe, and in return, you're going to get that $1 million. That's that. And then now figure a way how to do that. All right. How long should I listen to my subliminals? I heard they say it takes approximately 30 days for you to see results. It's not in terms of days. It's about how often they're repeated. So if you listen to them, the subconscious learns by repetition. So the more often it's repeated, the messages, the more often it hears the message, the more it's going to reprogram. You see, so it's not about days. It's literally about the number of times it heard that suggestion. So you can see changes much faster than 30 days if you listen to it more often. Okay. What's your take on Rich Dad Poor Dad? A very basic book. You know, look, I like Robert Kiyosaki's stuff. I think everybody's read him or read some of his stuff, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Rich Dad's, the whole Rich Dad series, right? But look, I think some of his books, let's say, I don't know, which one did I not like? Look, I think a lot of his books are just storytelling, and there's very little information. So I think the rationale behind that is making that stuff accessible and not seem so estranged or something. I don't know, but I think they're boring, a lot of the books, and there's very little information. If you actually extract the valuable information that can make you money or can help you progress financially, it's maybe like 5 pages. That's it. And sometimes not even that when it comes to the books. It's all just storytelling. And, you know, oh, when I had my Velcro wallet business, I was almost broke. I went almost bankrupt, and it was so hard, and blah, 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 blah. And then on page 55, you find like one sentence, which is use leverage, which is the only valuable information in the entire fucking book, right? So I'm not, look, it's good. I mean, it's good information, the information that's actually in there, but it's wrapped up in a whole lot of marketing and storytelling. But it works for him, obviously. You know, Rich Dad Poor Dad is one of the best-selling books when it comes to finances. Okay, but you don't learn that much from those books, I believe. So it's that book alone. Look, you don't even know how to. Let's say, let's assume you read Rich Dad Poor Dad. What have you learned from Rich Dad Poor Dad? That you need assets. Oh, yeah. I mean, at the end of the book, you know that you should have assets because that gives you passive income, and that the rich buy and build assets, which allows them to earn while they're not working, or basically they leverage other people's time and energy to create income for themselves. Okay, that's good. But you can explain that in 5 sentences. See? So I like more condensed information. I like dense information. I like highly dense information because, look, there's only one resource that we can't get more of. Okay, forget money. Money you can make back. It's not a problem. There are people that were $1 billion in debt, and now they're the multi-billionaires again. So obviously you can make money back. Okay. Speaking of that, I mean, Jeff Bezos, I think he lost like $68 billion in his divorce. And then the share price went up and he made it back like this, right? So what I'm saying is money can always be made back because money is not real, all right? But you know what's real? Time, okay? And that's why I like dense information. When I read a book, I want to have fact that I can apply. I don't have time to read through a fucking book that tells me like a life story that is so corny. Like I said hi to my wife, and then we saw the moon, and then we kissed under the moon, and all that shit has nothing to do with my bank account. It's not going to make me any money. See? So that's my opinion on Rich Dad Poor Dad. But hey, to each their own. I know a lot of people love Rich Dad Poor Dad. Yeah. Whatever, to each their own. So we have to create our own economy through entrepreneurship. You create your own infrastructure. That's what you do. That's for sure. All right. Hey Frank, how do we prepare for the shift in economics? Man, there are so many things that to consider. A lot of things you have to consider. But one thing is, do you have value in a marketplace? That's it. That's the most fundamental thing. Do you have value in the marketplace? Figure out what that means, and then either build up value or exchange the value. Grant Cardone says people can make the most money by doing what nobody else wants to do. Right. Exemplified by all those multimillionaire maids and street sweepers. I don't know what context that was in, but I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. After what happened in Venezuela a couple of years back, I started investing in Bitcoin. In Venezuela, all they use is digital currency. Okay. Is it empathy? Can you feel certain spiritual gifts around people? And what about health healing too? Well, the physical body is affected by the energy field of the person. So when you affect the energy field, you can often affect the physical body too. Depends on the stage of the development of the disease or the problem. And then can you feel certain spiritual gifts around people? Yeah, you can feel their development, meaning how strong their energy body is. Yeah, you can sense that. But look, all spiritual gifts are accessible to all people. It's a matter of developing them. You know, they have to be developed. It's sometimes people are born with that, but that's because they worked on it in past lives. But everybody can develop them. Hey Frank, I'm in a few of your programs, Unabundant Mind and the Order. I would really like to have a session with you to discover my best career path. Would you be willing to do a session with me? You're in the Order. But yeah, just contact me on Facebook. Sure. The book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is great. All right. Is it optimal to listen to the subliminal while doing another activity, or is it better to focus on the sounds you're hearing? You don't have to focus on anything. Just don't listen to the subliminals when you're using heavy machinery. Don't listen to it when you drive a car. Don't listen to them when you're using, when you're doing something that requires your conscious attention. Let's say you clean your house or something like that. Okay, you can definitely listen to the subliminals. When let's say you go for a run or workout, yeah, you can definitely listen to the subliminals. But driving a car, no, don't do it. It helps change the mindset first, which is the most important first. Then we can go into strategy. Yes. Yes. Look, what people always look for is a money printing machine. Okay, a money printing machine. But I don't know if you ever been to I mean, if you ever got to see an actual money printing machine. I went to a museum and I actually saw a money printing machine. Now, let me tell you something about these things. They're huge. It requires a lot of people to you know, make that thing work. You know, they gotta make sure that everything is working well, that printing is right. you need a strong foundation because that thing is heavy as fuck. And overall, you need electricity. Like, a lot of things need to come together so that money can be printed. Okay, so let's say I give you a money printing machine. It's in your living room right now. Okay, you're not even going to be able to use it. All right. What people always forget is what is around things, the infrastructure, so to speak, the infrastructure. And when it comes to, let's say, running a business or making money and all that stuff, the infrastructure is your mindset. All right, your mindset and how you operate, your routine, essentially. Okay, and many other things. But it starts with a mindset, a certain way that you see the world. An employee or somebody that's financially unsuccessful has a certain way in which they view the world. And somebody that's financially successful and, I don't know, runs a business or something like that has a different way of looking at the world. You know, and that's the most fundamental difference. So the foundation and the infrastructure is what you carry here. Okay? Mindset is the most important thing, how you look at the world. And most people don't have that. Most people have a scarcity mindset. They look at the world in terms of scarcity. They look at the world in terms of fear. They look at the world in terms of limitations. They see limitations everywhere they look. Okay, but you have to have a scarcity mindset. The person that is successful sees opportunities. They don't look at the world through fear. They look at it in terms of excitement or possibilities. Okay, and a can-do attitude, basically. That's really what it is. That's really what it is. So the mindset is number one. That's the most important thing. And strategy comes later. But even, look, are you talking about tactics or strategy? Tactics or strategy, they're two different things. Okay, that needs to be understood. Everybody's, and I know you, like, I'm not saying that you're doing that, but most people don't know the difference between a tactic and a strategy. Okay, a strategy is the overarching way of going from A to B. It's kind of like your approach to the whole thing. A tactic is how you get to the next stage of your journey. Those are very different things. And you know how I know that? Because I study warfare. I study strategic warfare, military strategy. All right. In my opinion, if you want to be good at business, you need to understand military strategy. All right. Because it's based on that. And it's thousands of years older than the business strategy. Business strategy is maybe 150 years old. If not even that, okay? Industrial revolution run around that time, 1800 something, 1850, 1860. Warfare, strategic warfare is thousands of years old. All right. So, and business is very similar to war in a lot of ways. Very similar to warfare. Tactics are short-term and strategies are long-term. Yeah, that's part of it. Yes. Are you still accepting people in the unbounded mind? Yes.